I do want to talk a minute about Monique. This is very interesting to me. I think it's important to talk about, but I wasn't going to have me or my other guys talk about it. I needed y'all on here. Monique, a couple of weeks ago, could have been last week actually, made a comment about going to the airport, and she's mortified that she's seeing black women in bonnets and pajamas at the airport. And she's saying, "Where is your pride?" Listen to this.
So when we got to the airport yesterday, I was excited, like, all right, baby, let's go get him in Jackson, Mississippi. And as we began to walk through the airport, I saw so many, actually too many to count and too many for me to tap. But I saw so many of our young sisters in head bonnets, scarves, slippers, pajamas, blankets wrapped around them, and this is how they're showing up to the airport. And I've been seeing it, not just at the airport, I've been seeing it at the store, at the mall. I've been seeing sisters showing up with these bonnets and headscarves and their slippers. And the question that I'm having to you, my sweet babies, when did we lose pride in representing ourselves? When did we step away of let me make sure I'm presentable when I leave my home?
866-801-8255. Reese, you kick it off. Go ahead. Your thoughts.
Mind your damn business, Monique. What is it to you? Why do you care? If you don't like the way bonnets look, that's fine. You don't have to wear a bonnet. If you don't like the way slippers look, that's fine. You don't have to wear slippers. If you don't like the way scarves look, you don't have to wear a scarf. You don't have to wear a blanket. You can wear whatever the hell it is that you want to wear. I know when I'm in the airport, I'm looking for the next bomber. Okay, I'm like, okay, hold on. If you see something, say something. That's what I'm looking for. I ain't worried about nobody no damn bonnet. If you got a bonnet underneath that bonnet, no, okay, well then I don't give a damn. And there be some cute hairstyles underneath them bonnets, okay? So
That's true.
Yo, damn business. We in the pandemic. Do you have your mask on? Do you have your hand sanitizer? Are you okay, sis? You don't know what the hell people are going through. It is not the end of the world that people have on bonnets. I understand. Some people like to go to the airport suited booty. Them people get on my damn nerves. The people that you're going through the TSA with, they got to take off their belts. They got to take off their bangles. They got to take off their earrings. They got to take off all this other shit. Can you come to the airport very dressed down so that we can go ahead and get to where we need to get through? You holding us up. Step aside with all that fancy shit on at the airport. Okay? So I think Monique, she's trying to have a moment on this. She done did 3 or 4 videos on it. Okay, this is your grand comeback, Monique. You trying to get your $40 million Netflix deal like Dave Chappelle off of the backs of black women's bonnets? Girl, have a seat. Have a seat. Somebody was just trying to get into the cockpit on the plane. Did he have a bonnet on? No. But he was about to take that damn plane down. That's what we need to be worried about in air travel. Leave black women alone. If you don't think that something appears right, you don't have to look that way. And we don't want to get into the business of tapping people minding their black ass business and commenting on their appearance. Because Monique, people in glass houses should not throw stones, baby girl. Don't throw stones, because if you tap me and you tell me shit, be prepared for me to run your whole life down. And you started it, so don't go crying about it. You could have minded your damn business when I was in. Now, I don't wear a bonnet, but I reserve the right for a black woman to look however the fuck they want to look when they leave the house. And that don't give you a right to say something. You not gonna say nothing or do nothing. Period.
Amisha, your thoughts.
I think Reese took it away. I do wear it. I don't wear them outside, but I wear them at night. I mean, it's a preservation of black hair, and I have a lot of long natural hair. So I have absolutely nothing against wearing bonnets. My issue here is that Monique is trying to get clicks. She's trying to get in. She's trying to elevate her person. Nobody was talking about Monique before this. We haven't heard about Monique since she was complaining about how a black woman doesn't get paid fairly. So now she decides to come back and reassert herself as the purveyor of all things, how you're supposed to look, all things respectability politics when it comes to black women. And I'm gonna knock on something Reese said a minute ago. It wasn't too long ago that there were people talking about Monique's appearance in terms of the conversation she was having and how she walked out of her own house looking as someone who had money. This is an issue that I have because it pits black women against black women. It pits elders against younger black women. Some of the biggest controversies we've seen have come within our own community. We don't need to be separatists as Black people. We don't need to do that. And I am frustrated because Monique, with all the platform that she has, she is utilizing it to knock Black women down, particularly younger Black women. Okay, so you went to the airport, it was early in the morning, and you saw some people in bonnets and with blankets. Guess what? Who cares? Also, as somebody who has had to catch those 5:30 a.m. flights, it is cumbersome. And you see people in all types of gear, Black, white, Latina, and otherwise, because you know what? They literally did just roll out of bed. That's what happens when you got to show up to the airport at 5:30 in the morning. Yeah. I don't think that there is anything extremely, crazy about this. I think that she's utilizing it because she knew that she would trend, and she knew that there was a segment of the population who was always here to shut down Black women no matter what. She wanted to tap into that. And it's disgusting because Monique, again, she rose in the 90s off of things that respectability politics would have thrown shade at themselves and lit a fire to. Who's to say that these women don't have pride? Monique doesn't have pride. Monique doesn't have pride because she decided to throw Black women under the bus for her own personal gain. That's not prideful. That's BS. And that's something that we've seen in American culture and American society, generation after generation. The Black woman is the least regarded. The Black woman is the most disrespected. The last thing that Black women need is another Black woman to walk up and decide that now is the time I'm going to make you a target. So Monique, baby, however you want to call it, or however you want to, sprinkle a little sugar on top of the shit. Like, at the end of the day, the issue is you. The issue is the fact that you've decided that to become a hashtag, to become somebody who's going to get people to pay attention, you had to look at your fellow sister, minded younger sister, and say, she's wrong. Who asked you, Monique? You want to come into the conversation. There are so many things you could have talked about. Criminal justice reform, immigration reform, elevating Black women as they continue to run for office, all the things that Black women are doing that are glorious, and you decide to go after bonnets. Go sit down.
Preach on that. Speak on it, please.
You know what's interesting? I wonder if she has an issue with Black men going to the airport, because y'all should see me. I'm in my sweats. I'm in a do-rag or a fitted. It's bad. And I have a severe issue with flying. So I'm like half drunk too. So like I'm trying to get through. I'm prayed up. I mean, I don't look sane when I'm flying because I'm so terrified. I have control issues. But I still fly. I still do it, of course. Right. But I am delirious and not well and the worst clothes ever. And I'm just like, I'm showered. That's about it. And I'm pulling myself through saying, Lord, please let this plane not get crazy on the takeoff or the whatever. Like, I'm delirious. So I wonder if she has an issue. Because to be honest with you, I've never seen a Black woman in pajamas at an airport, but I know I've seen Black men much more relaxed than any Black woman I've seen flying. And that's cool. So I just wonder if she thinks the same. And the other thing is, and this is a little complicated, and if I'm wrong here, I want y'all to correct me. The other thing is, like y'all were saying, like kind of like attacking Black women, right? Or whatever she thinks is not appropriate. Then you put that narrative out there, and then other folks outside of our community hear that.
Exactly.
And you're feeding into a narrative. I don't know if lazy is the right. You're feeding into a silly, like we don't care about ourselves narrative.
Yeah.
Because don't tell me, I've seen white folks do you know how many times I've been on the plane and there have been folks barefoot, putting their feet on the plane? There's a photo on my Instagram page. Right. On my Instagram, trifling stuff. Invading I've had to tell you, yo, take your foot off my seat. It's barefoot.
Yep.
Right. Like just etiquette like that. So I just feel like, yo, you're saying this, but it's just, you're putting that out there, feeding into a narrative that Black women just don't need right now or ever need. It might be generational. I don't know. It could be class. I don't know. But for me, all I know is flying is stressful. And as long as I'm on that plane and it's safe and I've shed a few tears and I'm making it through, I'm on some alcohol. That's all I know. That's all I know. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. The calls are lit and people have opinions. I'm going to tell y'all right now, be respectful, please. Be respectful. Don't be trifling, because I'll play Patty and play y'all off now. I'm seeing folks are not agreeing. Just be respectful. All right? I know how y'all get. Okay, 866-801-8255. Let's go to, where are we? Who's been waiting the longest? Let's go to Robert from Delaware. What's up, Robert?
Hey, my brother,
All right.
Sister Reese, I love you on every show I've ever seen you on.
Oh, thank you.
The other sister, I respect your intelligence. You guys are what's happening right now.
Yes.
But I must say, how we say in the old school, it's not what you say, but how you said it. I feel that Monique said what she said with respect, and what happened to it takes. I think that's part of the village. Me being an older black man, 61 years old, I understand and respect how she went about doing it, and she didn't give up any disrespect in her approach or in her delivery of her message. And I kind of agree with it, because if not us, then who?
But Robert, I don't think Reese or Amisha said that Monique's delivery was rude or over the top or vicious. Y'all didn't say that, right?
No,
Delivery.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't criticize her specific delivery, but I think that it's not her intent might not be disrespectful, but her impact is disrespectful, because the impact is it's not your damn business or your place to tap anybody about anything that they got going on if it's not impacting you. That's the issue that I have. She can have her opinion on how somebody's supposed to look, but what she did in that moment was say, she said, tap these young babies. Once she said tap, that's where she went over the board. She did not.
Somebody who was not willing to tap these young ladies herself, because she was right there, mind you.
Yeah.
I bet you she didn't talk to those young ladies in the moment. What she did was grab a phone, record, and then take pictures. No, Monique was very strategic in trying to throw shade on these women so that she could trend. Like that, let's not pretend about what she was doing. And you can say it's generational. Yes, there are certain things that older black women want to see younger black women do or not do. But on that same token, we have to remember the origins and the roots of Monique and how Monique became to be Monique. And it's frustrating because she somehow seemingly has forgotten that, and her approach was problematic. I said, I wear bonnets. I don't wear them outside because I'm not going to wear it outside. That's on me. Yeah. On that same token, I'm also not going to walk up to young girls outside and start bothering them about how they dress. That's not my style. That's not my approach. That's not something that I think first and foremost is helpful. In the same way that it's not helpful to walk up to black men and tap them on the shoulder and say, pull your pants up.
Right.
It's not.
Exactly. And I used to be one of those young dudes that wore baggy pants all the time. And I would be so mad that folks would ever say that to me. My father would tell it to me all the time. My father could deal with it. That's a really good point. Robert, go ahead. Final comment, brother, because we have tons of calls.
Well, when will we be able to try to correct what we see that might be wrong? Now, me, I have a business. And if you ever come into my business with your pants sagging, I'm going to ask you to pull them up.
What kind of business do you have? What kind of business do you have, Robert?
P&E Barbecue, Wilmington, Delaware.
A barbecue spot? Hold up, wait a minute.
In a barbecue joint?
Robert, first of all, I'm going to be in Delaware to Delaware and Philly to see my father this weekend. I might just be feeling my late 90s vibe. If I come in there wearing some baggy pants, you don't know who you're going to tell me, bruh, pull them pants up or get out? For real?
Baggy is one thing. Showing off your drawers is something different, Clay, and you know that.
I listen, I know, but okay, Robert, thank you. Here's the other thing.
To pick up some tips?
Right. But here's the other, you know what bothers me though? What bothers me about that, and I'm assuming Monique may have been talking about younger women. You know, we don't allow black children and black youth to be kids. I can recall when I was in Washington State, those white folks would have on goth gear. They'd have, you know, their face painted all kinds of ways, colored contacts, green hair, and they're living their, you know, they're living their life. And we sometimes don't allow our kids to be experimental, have bad fashion choices, because, and let's be clear, we have seen black men and black women get shot and killed by police in their bedroom. Yeah. In a uniform getting pulled over by cops. Black men were lynched in their uniforms coming back from World War II. I just think for our young people, Let them live. I used to be that kid that had that, like I said, but I grew out of that. And let's go back to Robert. How were you in the night? When you were in your 20s or 30s or 20 or late teens? Let's let our young people have stupid fashion choices and just be young and silly and live their lives because other folks do it and other folks grow out of it. So I don't know. That
And
just kind of
can I say,
go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Rosa Parks did not have a bonnet on, chair, but they still told her, get your
Exactly.
ass to the back of the bus. Okay. So
Right.
this whole notion that, oh, respect goes out the window when you have a bonnet on, and if you don't have a bonnet on, everybody's gonna respect you. Ciao, bye.
That
And
and the
there's
fact that
another
I don't
point.
think that any of these folks have ever been on a college campus. As somebody who
Mm,
lived on a residential college campus, you saw people roll out and go to class in their pajamas at 3 or 4 in the afternoon. Like, come on. I mean, black, white, you name the color, that's what you saw. So it's very interesting to me, again, that this is brought up. It's literally not that big of a deal. Just let it ride.
yeah.
And what's interesting to me is some of these celebrities, kind of what you were saying, Amisha, when back in the day, they were all types of nasty, doing what they do. That's how they became famous. I love Prince. I love Prince. Prince back in the day, he was, Dirty Mind. He was Darling Nikki. As he got older, he got sanctified and judgmental. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
Prince, you were living your best life
Ass
when you
cheeks
were
out and
young.
everything.
Ass cheeks out, get off 23 on a one night stand. Like that was who we was. But then you get older, and Prince was a little judgy, and you're like, hold up, Prince, hold up now.
Right.
That's just kind of funny to me when they get a certain level and then they get real saying. I have some aunties in my family who are real judgy, but we remember back in the day. We remember back in the day in the early 80s, mid 80s, what you were doing. Like let them live their lives, please. It's all good. Let young people live.